You are about to get a 6-minute whirlwind tour of diversity and interdependence in a forest food web. There's lots of different species in forests, and I'm going to introduce you to many of their names and ecological roles. To live, grow, and reproduce their own biomass, animals need to eat. This creates food chains with plants at their base. Plants produce food in the form of their own fruit, leaves, stems, and wood by using energy from the sun to combine water and carbon dioxide. Basic life-maintaining interdependency between plants and animals made up of feeding relationships form food webs, complex networks of feeding relationships among species that eat each other in order to live and grow. Such photosynthesis puts together hydrogen from the water and carbon from the carbon dioxide in order to manufacture plant matter, such as carbohydrates and sugars, while giving off oxygen. In other words, plants create food and breathable air. While each ecosystem is the same in this general way, they are also different in which species do the living and breathing and doing the eating and getting eaten. In forests like these, the most important plants are large trees with needle-like leaves called conifers. Certain conifers and some broadleaf trees, say hemlock, Douglas fir, red cedar, and big leaf maple, are the largest plants that produce the most biomass and make up what we call the canopy layer of the forest. As the name suggests, the canopy layer is closest to the energy coming from the sun and stretches out and above smaller plants below. These plants below include shrubs, for example vine maple, big leaf rhododendron, and red huckleberry. Below this shrub layer, there's another layer called the herb layer. It contains herbs like violet, trillium, sword fern, twin flower, and bear grass. Below the herbs is a lower layer still. It contains plant-like organisms such as mosses and lichens. Together, these plants and plant-like organisms in several different layers make up the primary producers at the base of the food web. Many different types of organisms eat plants. Some are leaf chewers that eat the plant's leaves. They include spruce budworm, red tree vole, deer, and spruce grouse. Others, called flower feeders, eat the nectar and pollen found in flowers. Forest bumblebees and longhorned beetles are flower feeders. Others still eat the plant's sap, such as aphids that suck sap from the phloem and leafhoppers that suck sap from the xylem. Yet more herbivores specialize on seeds. Some eat the seeds of trees, such as red crossbill, Steller's jay, and black bear. Others eat the seeds of grasses, like Pterostichus ground beetles and rodents. Still other herbivores feed on mosses, such as bearded moss beetles, and then there are the lichen feeders, including bristletails and turtle mites. And still others, such as woodlice, feed on algae. Fungi eat plants too. Some fungi cooperate with large plants to provide the plants nutrients in exchange for food in the form of the plant's biomass. These fungi connect to the roots of plants and are called mycorrhizal fungi. Let's stay in the soil but go a bit higher in the food web, to underground predators such as techamoeba and dinoflagellates. They eat underground herbivores. Whereas herbivores are called primary consumers because they eat primary producers, predators of herbivores are called secondary consumers because they eat primary consumers. But we're not at the top of the food web yet. Meet the tertiary consumers. They are predators of those predators of herbivores, including mononchid nematodes and geophyllid centipedes. You may have met those centipedes previously in your walks in the forest. Perhaps you've seen these comparatively large general predators, including Staphylinus beetles, such as Tachinus, and spiders, such as Cybaeus. Other above-ground predators include the jumping spider, Metaphytopus, the ant, Camponotus, the lady beetle, Neomycia, and the lacewing, Hermorobiid. Herbivorous snails are fed upon by Scaphinotus. a surface-dwelling primary predator. Not all predators eat only animals. Some, such as Pterostichus, are omnivores that eat from different trophic levels, including herbivores and also conifer seeds. Still other secondary consumers, such as Collembola, crawl through falling leaves and soils to eat fungus. Of course, predators themselves are also eaten by other predators, such as Arrhenius gemma, an orb-weaving spider, Swainson's thrush, brown creeper, bats, rove beetles, towhee, weasels, and shrews. There are still other surface-dwelling secondary predators like the trapdoor spider, lithobiid centipedes, and the laziest ant. The weaving of the web doesn't stop there. More familiar surface-dwelling tertiary predators, such as spotted owls and the great horned owl, rubber boa, mountain lion, wolf, weave webs to even higher trophic levels. Also, there are many parasites, of which not only eat the animals mentioned earlier, but also get eaten by other consumers. Phew, that was a lot of species doing all kinds of eating and depending on each other for food. But it's much more than just a bunch of species and different things to eat. It's also what scientists have come to recognize as a complex network. Scientists have begun to focus more and more on the structure and dynamics of complex networks, both because of their importance to sustaining life on Earth and also because of their fascinating and intricate beauty that has evolved over hundreds of millions of years.